Happy Thursday, everyone. It's almost the weekend. Get excited, get happy, and let's get things rolling here. Now, obviously, there is no Major League Baseball going on. It is the offseason, but there is so much to talk about, so much going on right now. Free agency's heating up, trade rumors, the GM meetings have been going on. So just a lot to talk about, including our Philadelphia Phillies. Also, the season major awards have been rolling along this week. Cy Young actually got announced last night on Wednesday. Now, I should let you know, as I usually do here during the offseason, I make my videos the morning before the day is posted. So I'm actually making this video Wednesday morning. You guys are seeing this video on Thursday. So I am not a future teller. I don't know who won the Cy Young here Wednesday night or last night on Wednesday night. Christopher Sanchez with the Phillies obviously is a finalist for the 2025 National League Cy Young Award. Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates is expected to win, so he most likely did last night, and Christopher Sanchez was likely the runner-up. But I will let you guys know on tomorrow's video on Friday. It'll be a little bit late. You guys are already probably going to know the outcome. So, but it's still something to talk about. Now, the MVP award, that is getting announced tonight here on Thursday. Kyle Schwarber is a finalist for the 2025 National League MVP. Like Christopher Sanchez, he is expected to be the runner-up behind Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani, who is the heavy betting favorite to win the award. So that is something to talk about tomorrow as well on Friday before we get into the weekend. Welcome to Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily to keep things going. Now, I appreciate each and every single one of you, everybody who's been here since day one, a few months ago when I started this journey, and everybody who's came along the way. You guys are much appreciated. I can't make this happen without you guys, so thank you so much. Now, as I said, the awards have been rolling along this week. Now, I wasn't able to talk about it in yesterday's video because, again, I made yesterday's video on Tuesday morning before the Manager of the Year award was announced. So I'm a day late. You guys probably already know the outcome of that. Phillies manager Rob Thompson, he was a finalist along with Terry Francona of the Cincinnati Reds and Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers. Now on Tuesday night, Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers, he won the Manager of the Year award for the National League in 2025. It is actually his second consecutive Manager of the Year award with the Brewers. The Brewers had the best record in Major League Baseball in 2025. The Phillies were just a game, I believe it was, behind them, so Rob Thompson had them right there. But the big difference was Rob Thompson and the Phillies had the third highest payroll, so they were expected to have, a whole bunch of good players and a good team, a championship caliber team, whereas the Milwaukee Brewers, they had just the 17th highest payroll in 2025. So Pat Murphy did more with less than Rob Thompson had done. Still a great season by Rob Thompson and the Phillies, a great regular season, I should say, but that's what the award is based on here. And again, Pat Murphy, second consecutive National League Manager of the Year award with the Brewers, beat out Terry Francona of the Cincinnati Reds, who was also deserving, and Rob Thompson of our Philadelphia Phillies missed out on the award this year. Speaking of coaching, Tuesday as well, I didn't get to talk about it yesterday on Wednesday because, again, I made the video Tuesday morning for Wednesday, wasn't able to see the news until, I'm not a future teller again. But still, coaching changing for the Phillies, or a new hire for the Phillies, and that was they hired Edward Gonzalez as a new assistant hitting coach on Tuesday, the Phillies did. Now, he had previously served as the minor league director of hitting development for the Phillies this past year in 2025. He joined the organization in 2023. He was the Miami Marlins assistant hitting coach back in 2022 before joining the Phillies, and he had been with the Marlins organization from 2020 to 2022 before he joined the Marlins, and then ultimately the Phillies now. Gonzalez had spent 9 years working in the Yankees minor league farm system from 2011 to 2019. He is still young. He's 42 years old, and now he will be working alongside Phillies hitting coach Kevin Long. So maybe that's going to be some change of philosophy, some new voices, some new ideas here for the Phillies hitters, because we all know a lot of people weren't fond of Kevin Long these past couple years. A lot of people wanted him gone. He'll be back in 2026 as the Phillies hitting coach. The Phillies have very high standards for him and believe he is one of the best hitting coaches in Major League Baseball. So we'll see how it goes. But Edward Gonzalez is going to be a new assistant hitting coach for the Phillies here in 2026. Speaking of Kevin Long, actually, Kevin Long before or after the Phillies season ended, before he's going to do his offseason, whatever he's going to be doing this offseason to relax and prepare for the 2026 season, he caught up with Scott Lauber, I believe it was, of one of the Phillies insiders, one of the Phillies reporters, and all that fun stuff. He caught up with him talking about Bryce Harper and Bryce Harper's down 2025 season. We all know that's been a big storyline over the past couple of weeks, past couple of months since the season had ended. Not the greatest numbers we saw out of Bryce Harper compared to years prior, but still a very solid season, all things considered. And Kevin Long did talk about Bryce Harper's down season with Scott Lauber, I believe who it was again. He had mentioned that Bryce Harper did miss some time and play through that wrist injury. He missed about a month's worth of action. So that's a month worth of baseball, a month worth of production that Bryce Harper's numbers could have looked a lot better and been more of what we're used to seeing. I've been talking about it. I'm not going to keep beating your ear off about it. So Kevin Long did mention that he did miss some time, about a month, with that wrist injury. And he said, quote, about Bryce Harper. So if he plays another month, what are those numbers looking like? He ended up with 27 home runs in 2025, drove in 75 RBIs. Does that end up being 35 home runs and 98 RBIs? I don't know. So we're really talking about minor things. And I agree with Kevin Long on that one because, again, a month's worth of action. We all have seen guys like Kyle Schwarber go on home run tears, other guys around the league as well. Even Bryce Harper, when he gets hot, he hits them in bunches and drives in a bunch of runs and gets those extra base hits. So a month worth of, that's a lot of baseball, a lot of time. 27 home runs in 2025, despite missing a month of action and playing through a wrist injury, which significantly impacts your playing ability, your hitting, and all of that. Bryce Harper, his numbers could have looked a lot better, and we wouldn't be having this conversation that's been going on these past couple of weeks. And then Kevin Long went on to say, quote, he saw the least amount of strikes in baseball, because obviously a lot of pitchers are afraid of Bryce Harper. You got to deal with Kyle Schwarber as well, right there at Bryce Harper. So you're not getting a lot of pitches to hit. He never really sees a lot of good pitches to hit per at bat throughout really his major league career. Just that's how good Bryce Harper is. So he's got to do with what, with what the pitchers are giving him and try to come through in situations. So he said he saw the least amount of strikes in baseball, Kevin Long said about Bryce Harper. And he probably ended up swinging too much and probably needed to control the strike zone a little bit better than he did. But other than that, I was pleased with Bryce's year, what he did, how he performed. And that goes on what I just said about how maybe he was chasing some pitches just because he's trying to produce at the plate. He's not seeing a lot of strikes. Maybe he's expanding his strike zone to try to help drive in runs and come up big for what he's getting paid for. So maybe that's why his numbers were a little bit down in 2025. But again, he missed a month's worth of action, and that is a big factor there. Kevin Long went on to say, so if you look at different years and what he's done, yeah, those numbers are probably a little bit down, but I'm not worried about Bryce. I think Bryce is a very talented player, a really, really good hitter. He's a middle-of-the-order guy. He's an impact guy. He's a superstar in this league, and I'm glad he's on our team. I'm glad Bryce Harper's on the team as well. I keep telling you guys this. A lot of people wanted him to be traded, wanted him to be gone. He is elite. He is a superstar. He is a threat in any lineup. Any of these 30 Major League Baseball teams would love to have Bryce Harper in the middle of their order, so it's crazy to think that Phillies fans wanted him gone just because he didn't have a Bryce Harper type season in 2025, but he's still got 6 more years on his contract. He's got a lot of good baseball ahead of him. He just turned 33. It's not like he's an old guy. He's still young enough. He's still Bryce Harper. And this all stems from Dave Dombrowski, the Phillies president of baseball operations, comments during his end-of-season press conference after the Phillies season had ended, how he had questioned Bryce Harper's elite status. Now, Dave Dombrowski at the GM meetings, he did mention that he had a nice long chat with Bryce Harper following those comments, following all that drama that surrounded it. He said, quote, I've spoken to him. We had a nice conversation. Everything went well. He didn't go into details as you probably expected, but then he went on to say, we had a good conversation. We talked for quite a while, and really conversations between Bryce and myself are between us. Again, Dave Dombrowski questioned Bryce Harper's elite status if he could return to that form heading into 2026 and beyond to play out the rest of his contract here with the Phillies during his end-of-season press conference. And then Bryce Harper, a few days later, was reportedly not happy. He was hurt. He was upset by Dave Dombrowski's comments, as he should be, because Bryce Harper's done so much for this city, so much for this team. He still has, he still will. And it's just odd to question your superstar, the face of your franchise, in that situation. But hopefully that conversation went well, as Dombrowski noted, and hopefully everything has been smoothed over between him and Bryce Harper, and we see a great season out of the Phillies and Bryce Harper in 2026 and beyond. Switching gears a little bit to end this video here on Thursday, Free agency is obviously a huge topic here. It's going to keep on getting hotter and hotter as we get closer to the winter meetings in early to mid-December. That's when a lot of these contracts happen, when all those higher-ups in the organization gather together for a few days. You see all these big free agent signings. You see some major trades happen as well. So that is in about a month's worth, a little bit less than a month, I believe, actually, it starts. And that brings me into a Bryce Harper guy, a Bryce Harper friend, and somebody who's very familiar with the Philadelphia Phillies, and that is former Phillies first baseman, outfielder, and past Milwaukee Brewers the past 2 years, first baseman, Rhys Hoskins. Should the Phillies bring back and reunite with Rhys Hoskins in free agency? He is a free agent after spending the last 2 years with the Brewers. He had 26 home runs and 82 RBIs in his first season with the Brewers back in 2024. A solid season for Rhys Hoskins at that. He did miss some time with a thumb injury in 2025, and then his playing time was reduced down the stretch with the Brewers. So numbers weren't great really for Rhys Hoskins in 2025 because of that injury, because of the reduced playing time. But he spent 6 seasons with the Phillies, as we all know, from 2017 to 2022. He missed the 2023 season with a torn ACL that he suffered back in spring training. Everybody loved Rhys Hoskins. He was a fan favorite here in Philadelphia for what he did for the team coming up out of the minor leagues the first couple of years. And then his playoff moment, the bat spike, everything, how good of a clubhouse guy he was in the community, everything. He was a fan favorite, and people really liked him in the Phillies organization as well. Insane power back in 2016 while he was in Double-A with the Reading Fightin' Phils, and in 2017 as well in Triple-A with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs before his promotion and eventual MLB debut that season. He hit home runs at a historic pace after he was promoted in August, late in the season, in that 2017 season with the Phillies. He had finished the season with 18 home runs and 48 RBIs with a 1.014 OPS in 50 games played August, September to end that 2017 season with the Phillies. So just incredible stuff out of Rhys Hoskins there. He actually played so well that he finished 4th in National League Rookie of the Year voting, despite only playing in 50 games that season in 2017 after that late promotion in August. That's how good he was, and that's how much of an impact he made in Major League Baseball in his debut right away and with the Phillies. And then he followed that up with a very good first full season with the Phillies at the Major League level in 2018. He had 34 home runs, 96 RBIs that season with the Phillies. He helped attract the likes of Bryce Harper to sign with the Phillies before the 2019 season. If you remember, he said, "What's up, kid?" or whatever in that social media post Bryce Harper said when he was signing with the Phillies. So he liked Rhys Hoskins right from the start. Rhys Hoskins also led the National League with 116 walks in 2019. So he drew some walks. He got on base. Pitchers were feared of him because of his power threat in the lineup. And then in 2022, he hit 246 with 30 home runs, 33 doubles, 79 RBIs, and a career-high 3.0 WAR with the Phillies in that World Series run, that season that they had, that his final season with the Phillies because he tore his ACL in spring training the following year in 2023 and missed out on that last year with the Phillies before ultimately signing with the Brewers for the last 2 years. The Phillies actually didn't even close the door on a World Series return for Rhys Hoskins during that 2023 season. We all know they made it deep into the playoffs. They unfortunately did not win or move on to the World Series because they lost in 7 games to the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NLCS. So we didn't see if Rhys Hoskins would have been back, but they didn't close the door on it. It would have been very cool to see him come back and help the Phillies try to win that World Series in 2023, but it didn't happen, as we all know. Now, Rhys Hoskins, he is getting older. He's going to be 33 years old for the 2026 season, but he is a right-handed hitter, as we all know. The Phillies are looking for a right-handed power bat, and Rhys Hoskins still has some pop in his bat, even though he didn't have a great season in 2025 with the injury, the reduced playing time, and obviously getting older, but still, he's got former 30-plus home run power, 25, 20 home run power. He still can do that. He hit 26 home runs just 2 years ago with the Brewers in 2024. He won't cost much. Spotrac actually has him at a $7 million per year value, which is very doable for the Phillies. They could ultimately, if they were to sign him, rotate Rhys Hoskins and Bryce Harper between first base and designated hitter. Obviously, Bryce Harper could play mostly first base. He could have Rhys Hoskins at DH, but when Bryce Harper needs a day off his feet in the field, put him in DH. Rhys Hoskins can play first base, as we all know. And then at that, you can let Kyle Schwarber walk because he's going to get a huge contract. It's going to cost a lot of money, a big commitment. And with that money saved and really not spending that much money to bring in Rhys Hoskins, you can go after other positions in need and bring in a significant impact player like in the outfield, like a Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, maybe make a trade for a big name player or somebody in the bullpen, somebody in the rotation, anything really, Alex Bregman in the infield, Bo Bichette in the infield. You can make that move happen if you let Schwarber walk, save that money, and you can still bring in a right-handed power bat with Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins, in his career, through, 8 seasons, I believe. Yeah, he played 6 years with the Phillies, 2 years with the Brewers. 8-season career. His 162-game average is 34 home runs and 97 RBIs. So that's some good power number. Right-handed bat for the Phillies. A reunion could happen. Probably won't happen, but it's a possibility and something that we could flirt with as the offseason goes on. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Again, today's Thursday. The Cy Young got announced last night on Wednesday. I made this video Wednesday morning before it happened. So I will let you know how Christopher Sanchez finished in that, most likely as the runner-up tomorrow on Friday, as well as the MVP voting here for 2025 getting announced tonight here on Thursday. So that will be talked about tomorrow on Friday as well. Again, thank you guys for watching. And as always, go Phils.